Hey everyone, this is Ed Gutowski, and I wanted to create a welcome video where I introduce you to and welcome you to our Introduction to Literature class. You are in for a treat because our class is going to be loads of fun. I mean, I picked some great books. I think you're really going to enjoy the selections that I've taught for our class. So what I just wanted to do was to create a welcome video, kind of talk about the expectations for the course, and then talk about the textbooks, which I'll do now. So this is going to be our textbook. It's a Backpacker's Guide to Literature. I've been using this. I've been teaching literature both online and on ground for over 20 years. Great textbook. It's affordable, has some great short stories and some poetry that we'll look at. And how I'm going to set up the class is basically, for the most part, you're going to have a full week to complete coursework and class assignments. However, with the short stories, I'm going to make the reading quizzes due on the Wednesdays, and that way on the following day, on that Thursday, I'll post a video that can kind of discuss some of the short stories. So if you're having problems or you're confused by the story, I can kind of help you analyze them. My reading quizzes are really easy. As long as you read, you really won't have any problem with them. But that's just kind of how I wanted to set up the course. So most things will be due by Sunday at midnight. And just on Wednesdays, the quizzes for the short stories will be due. And then as we get further into the semester, I'll remove that sort of Wednesday component. The first book we're going to look at is a great book. It's called Into the Wild by Jon Krakauer. It's a great book that there's a lot of really interesting literary themes and ideas that we can play around with. We'll get that into week 3, and I'll post a video around then that kind of discusses that book. We've had a lot of great success with that book. We're also going to look at literature in the Holocaust. So we're going to look at Maus, which is a graphic novel, but we'll get into, so there's some literature of the Holocaust we might talk about, but Maus is a pretty popular novel. We can talk about whether or not a comic book or a graphic novel is a significant literature, but we will look at some Holocaust literature as well. We're going to read one Shakespeare. We're going to read Henry V. And I know that Shakespeare can be challenging for students both on ground and online, but I've had great success teaching Henry V online. It's a wonderful play. It's great. Students really like it, even though I know there are some challenges with it. I'll make it all work out. And the last book we're going to look at is a book called The Hate You Give, which we'll look at, that deals with some issues of race and racism in America. And again, I've been using this book. I was going to start using it in 2020, then COVID hit, and so I've really only taught it online, but had great success. Students love the book. They like the ideas. I may be the only one who actually doesn't like the book, which we can talk about when we shift to that. But I think students really like being exposed to the issues of, race in America. Looking at issues of some issues of racism. It's had a pretty profound impact on students. And every term I just get really good papers. So I wanted to continue that kind of lesson plan. Interesting enough, I was looking at something where there was a survey done that said, okay, what are the most significant books that you've read, like, say, in the last 10 years? And for whatever reason, The Hate You Give kept on coming up on this discussion of talking to just kind of random people. So there is something in this book that we can talk about. So I just wanted to give you kind of a sense of the books we're going to read. They're going to be a lot of fun. I know it may seem like there's a lot, but it all works out. All of the books are really going to be engaging. It's going to be a lot of fun. The only thing that I would suggest is, I got to remember that you need to send a welcome email that introduces yourself to me by Wednesday. I believe it's August 24th, and after that I'll figure out I'll drop students, and then I can make rooms for the ads. And then for this week, you'll notice there's going to be just a discussion board. There's some poems that I want you to read that are going to be the foundation of our class, and there's a short story called The Ones Who Walk Away from Amelia's that you need to read by Wednesday, and it's going to be the foundation of our class as well. And so that Wednesday, the quiz is due. I'll have a follow-up lecture on it on Thursdays. So if you're struggling with the story, I'll help you analyze it. But our class is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think, and it'll be really kind of fun to kind of introduce you to some of the key concepts of literature.